Okay, so we'll begin Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thought maybe we'd ask, we'd begin with the currents unfolding around the world and how that impacts everyone. Yeah. So you've got politicians who've deciding that, you know what, it's not enough to burn people just here, let's burn people a bit further away. Yeah. But you'll notice none of these politicians or their children will be the ones that will go out there and defend. So out of ego tripping, we're in a situation now where the world is becoming very insecure, depending on what you know and what you're looking at. The insecurity is also coming in different ways. Comes in what I've noticed in a number of times, certainly over the last 10 days or so. A number of individuals have approached where they are being confronted with life-threatening circumstances, whatever it may be. And it's making individuals, one individual I was speaking to earlier on today said, it's made me reevaluate how I live my life. And so the unfolding events that we are having all around us, as they may have a distressing impact, they are also opportunities to change. Yeah, they're opportunities to change. All such junctions, all such roadblocks where your conscience is being pricked, where you have to ask yourself the question about life, about health, about well-being, about relationships, whatever it is, those big questions is an opportunity that can be hard to endure, but it's an opportunity. It's a move forward. So I want to share with you a Zen understanding, a Zen story about a Chinese farmer. And this Chinese farmer had one horse and one son. And this Chinese farmer wasn't wealthy, but wasn't poor, right? Did what he did with the horse, and he made enough money, and it was enough to keep him and his son going. Anyway, one day, the horse runs off. And all the villagers come up to him and say, "Oh my God, you were barely making enough. And now the horse has run off. How are you going to make ends meet? What terrible luck." And this old Chinese man just turned around and said, "Well, maybe." And off he went. Few days later, the son woke up early in the morning, looking across and said, "Go look, the horse is back, but with it, there's another half a dozen horses." So everyone now is thinking, "Oh my God, look at this. You only had one horse. Now he's got 7. And they became envious. And they said, "Well, what great luck you have." And the man says, "Well, maybe." Few months pass, and the son decides he wants to ride the horse. So he gets onto the horse buckles, the son falls off, breaks his leg. And the villagers come up and say, "Oh my God, look at this, your only son. He may never be able to walk properly. How awful." And he said, "Oh, well, maybe." And then some weeks later, there are foot soldiers coming over, and they're looking for conscription. And any child or any individual who's under the age of 50 needs to participate. They come across this young man, and they said, "Well, you're fit, you're healthy, but you have a broken leg." So he's left. So all the villagers come and say, "What great fortune that your son broke this leg. We don't know if we're going to see our sons." And he said, "Maybe." The point of this story is that everything that we perceive at the moment has so many factors working at it that you can't make this choice, yea or nay. As hard as it seems, the unfolding that's going on around us and the kind of mayhem that starts to be seen around in different ways, whether it's protests, whether it's weather, or whether it's energy bills, whether it's individuals starting to fire missiles at each other. It just look around you. You see it for what it is. You cannot ignore it because it has an impact. Has an impact. And that impact is it makes you slightly jittery. And it's like an electromagnetic impact. If you walk into a situation where people have been arguing, you pick it up. It's the same idea. So earlier on, I was speaking about maybe 3-4 years ago that meditation is going to transition from something that's a luxury to something that becomes necessary. And we've been through that, through the COVID period. It became very necessary. But now, as we move into this next phase, it's going to become essential. Why is it going to become essential? Well, for a number of reasons. One, regain health. Regain health. Get your power back. Regain health. And the only way you're going to regain your health is first realize how disturbed the mental traffic is and how involved we get involved in it and how this is not the representation of what you are as a human being. This is simply an idea that has been created by the language that you have. You cannot think in a language you don't know. Your entire worldview, the entire idea of who you think you are, is based on this idea of you, your illusionary self. You're not born with it. It's created into you. And then at the age of, 18 months or something, shifts. You become it. This is now where humanity needs to step back from. Doesn't mean you let go of your character, your personality, your self-image. You begin to see it for what it is and begin to recognize that you, your essence, your very essence, the question first has to begin with, do you exist? Do you exist? Or are you a figment of your imagination? And if you're a figment of your imagination, you must exist to have imagination. So do you exist? And the unequivocal answer is, of course, I bloody do. I'm here. Well, how much of that is in your control? Stop existing. And you'll find it's impossible. Just like it's impossible to sleep like that. Just like it's impossible when you're not feeling well to make yourself well. It's impossible. So you realize that there is a bigger matrix. There's a bigger ocean, existence, whatever you want to call it. But existence, not separated from you, but you being no more or no less than a ripple on an ocean. That's all there is to it. And recognizing in that rippleness is the ocean. That's where humanity is going. Realization doesn't take it away from wealth, doesn't take it away from technology, doesn't take it away from anything. But the way we see ourselves is what's starting to change now. And I began with when we encounter suffering, it's an opportunity to see, all right, what's it telling me? What do I need to learn from here? And if you open yourself to that, the universe will speak to you. We take responsibility that I'm in charge. But the reality is no. Your 7 trillion cells in your body, each one working 100,000 different reactions in a minute. How much control do you have on that? How much control do you have on your breath? Try holding it for 5 minutes. See what I'm saying? Realizing consciousness, not the mind, but consciousness. What does it mean? It's not the body, it's not the mind, it's not the thoughts. All of that is a temporary part of this wave. What enables the wave to exist is consciousness, the thing that you can't cut, you can't touch, but you are. Can't be stopped. And in meditation, we begin to frequent it. Every so often, we get to that sun samad, where there is silence and there's an absence. And there's the absence. And how do you know? Because there is a presence of peace, calmness, feeling safe, no time, and things are a bit quiet. You're not bringing it from anywhere. It's you. It's your essential quality. So you go and sit there. And in sitting there, many things begin to happen. And one of the most important things that happen is the body begins to regenerate itself. Why? Because you switch this off. You go out of your flight fight system. You step out of your egoic space. You step out. You can't quieten the mind. It can't be done. But you can step out. It's like in this room that we occupy. One of the misconceptions is that if I keep rearranging the room, I'll feel better. No, you've got to go out of the room. And mindfulness does that. Leave the nonsense for where it is. Just walk out. Step out. And meditation allows you to experience that, which is where there is quietness, stillness, silence, peace, etc., etc. Yeah. So those are the attributes you begin to recognize in yourself. And in doing so, you as a human being begin to change your identity. So how is humanity going to change? By getting out of what's outside is what's inside human beings. Think about it. Don't see all robins and pigeons ganging up on another group of pigeons and kicking the living daylights out of them. It's just whatever nonsense is in people's minds. Who the hell wants to live 24/7 in conflict? It's not what humanity balance is. This is what we see around us is no one's fault. It's what's inside. Why? Because there is no teaching. There is no understanding. So don't blame yourself. There's no wisdom. You can only talk about this stuff if you walk that bloody path. How else are you going to do it? So we are now arriving at that kind of crescendo. And next couple of years, I would expect and anticipate to become quite erratic in many ways, like we were right for the COVID stuff before it began. That look, there are things building up, and just become aware of them. Try not to get engaged in the fear. 3 times a week, every week, we were online, making sure people meditated, giving them some understanding how to create immunity. None of your government officers spoke about that, how to strengthen your immunity. Everyone was saying what you take. Your body survived 170,000 years, if not more. It's got a very, very, very intelligent system that can pretty much deal with anything. So it's important to realize how quickly we can become involved in this mental madness. And then very soon we become it. And in doing so, you lose out. Not the greatest gift. The greatest gift is knowing who you are. There's no greater gift than that. If you want to know God, get to know yourself, you know what God's all about. That's the greatest gift. However, the wealth that you have towards that gift is your health. And your health begins with your mind first. And those who are ignorant about the mind are ignorant about health. Begin with the mind, begin to calm this down. The body begins to restore homeostasis. Stop putting some of the things that imbalance it. The body has enough to have at least something to start off the regeneration process. Yeah. So there is a science behind this, not some nonsense. Science behind this. But the science can only make sense if you have a number of factors. Number one, the relationship between the mind, not the brain, very different things, the mind to physiology. How you can change this bit in order to change your body, right? And how we can switch it off. We need to have that relationship. And the other thing is the general knowledge of what the mind is. So, through this understanding, through meditation, plus the understanding, which is why I take 10, 15 minutes to ramble on, simply to provide some understanding, which will start making sense as your process evolves, like we did with the cathedral programs. Introduction to meditation, introduction to compassion and meditation, introduction to personal transformation, introduction to neuroscience, introduction to spiritual intelligence, and then introduction to extraordinary events. So people have an understanding. This doesn't just stop, there's an evolution. That's what evolution's about. It's not the fact that you emerge from monkeys, it's the fact that you have the capacity either to evolve or not evolve, either to expand your awareness, your consciousness, which does it for itself. All you need to do is just practice some things, or you become so entrenched in your patterns that it becomes static. And we have the same old, same old. Yeah, that's what reincarnation actually means in one way. Okay, I hope that's enough rambling for today. Yeah, anyone got some thumbs up, so people are loving it out there. Okay, so let's go for it. So, as usual, we begin with our back, and you're going to straighten your back. You're going to pull your chin in slightly. You're going to pull your shoulders back a little bit. And as you draw your breath in, you want to bring yourself to yourself or your focus to your body and begin to notice your posture. Notice if there's any discomfort in the body, you can change yourself, change your posture. You don't need to be rigid. And before we begin any further, we're going to set our intention. So you are deliberately going to set an intention, and your intention is simply to become present. And how do you become present? You become present by focusing on things that are happening in the present moment, right now. You're not thinking about what happened yesterday. You're not planning about tomorrow. You become aware. And how do you do this? You bring your focus to things that are happening in the present moment, and this includes first your breath. And you notice that the breath can only be breathed in the present moment. And the moment you bring your focus to your breath, you disengage from your mental thoughts, and you begin to watch your breath. And as you watch your breath, you may find your focus has drifted. You started thinking something. And your attitude is non-judgmental. So you gently bring your focus back to your breath. Watching the in-breath as it comes in, watching the out-breath as it goes out. And we can only become aware of sensations that are happening in the present moment. Things like pain, ache, tightness, an itch. All of these can only take place in the present moment. So gently bring your focus to the top of your head. Imagine there's a hula hoop. And as this hoop comes down, you begin to scan your body for sensations. So just at your own pace, allow this hoop to come down. And as you draw your next breath in, notice if there's anything in the body that draws your attention. So this could be a pain, an ache, a headache. And if you experience the pain, bring your focus to where it is, or any sensation. Notice if it has a shape. Notice its location. Next breath in, bring your focus now to the seat you're on. And you're going to allow yourself to be held so you can allow yourself to relax somewhat. You know you're not going to go anywhere. And you will notice there are sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. Draw your focus to those sensations. And then from those sensations, you gently bring your focus up so you become aware of your hips. And then from your hips, you allow this awareness to move down your thighs, the purpose of which is simply to focus on any sensations that become dominant. And if there's no pain, no aches, no tightness, that too is a sensation. From your knees, you begin to move down towards your ankles, scanning the back of your legs. Scanning the front of your legs. And then you notice your feet, bringing your focus now to the soles of your feet. And you want to hold your focus there for a short while. Just sensing that part of your body. Not thinking about it, just sensing it by holding your focus to it. Next breath in, come back to the seat you're on. And once again, notice how well you're held in place, how the ground beneath you holds you. How the warmth surrounds you. Bringing your focus back to your seat. Notice your back is straight and upright. And you're going to bring your focus gently up your back as you breathe in from your lower back to your middle back. From your middle back, you come up to your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. Notice the back of your neck. And if you just gently pull your chin in slightly, you will notice the sensations on the back of your neck. From your shoulders, you bring your focus to your elbows. Moving down towards your wrists. And then holding your focus at your palms. Notice your fingers. And then on your next breath in, bringing your focus towards your eyes. And as you bring your focus towards your eyes, becoming aware of what you have in your field of vision. Could be darkness, could be thoughts. Notice that this awareness that you are can't be switched off. Ever present. Like a spotlight, you can focus this awareness wherever you want. You can bring it to the back of your head if you want. As you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften. Next breath in, bring your focus towards your lips. Notice your mouth, gently scanning the upper lip. Scanning the lower lip. And then as you move your focus within your mouth, notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. On the inside cheeks. Notice the sensations around your gums. Your tongue. Allow your tongue to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And then as you breathe out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, you become aware of yourself as best as you can. From the top of your head all the way down. Just sensing yourself. And begin to notice how the body feels now. Is there anything that draws your focus? A pain, an ache, a tightness? Notice where it is. And then gently bring your focus beneath your nose and begin to watch your breath. Your commitment to yourself is to hold your focus beneath your nose with a little bit of effort and to become aware of the breath as it moves in, as it moves out. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. If you find your focus has drifted, you started thinking of something, notice the distraction, bring your focus gently, firmly back to your breath. Remember your commitment. And the longer you stay with your breath, the more peace, the more calm becomes possible. Notice how the breath is happening by itself. Stay with your breath. On your next breath in, you're going to bring your focus to within yourself, to your inner climate. And this means how you're thinking and what you're feeling. Notice if there's anything on your mind. And then gently bring your focus to your chest. And notice the movement of your chest synchronized with your breath. Notice the sensations around your ribs. And then gently bring your focus a bit deeper into yourself, right where your heart is. Try and hold it there. And as you hold it there, begin to notice how you're actually feeling right now. Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel settled? Right now? Or is there something missing? Holding your focus right at your chest, right at your heart. Allowing yourself to experience how you're actually feeling right now. What is your state of being? Comfortable? Uncomfortable? Just this moment. On your next breath out, open your focus to all the sounds around you. Allow any sound that's around you to come to you. You don't need to look for it. You don't need to work it out. No commentary, just listening. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose, and once again, simply begin to watch your breath. Notice the in-breath as it comes in. Notice the out-breath as it goes out. Stay with your breath. Notice your in-breath has a start and an end, and your out-breath has a start and an end. And if you follow your out-breath all the way till the end, you will notice when it stops, there's a little gap before the in-breath begins. See if you can do that, following your out-breath all the way till the end. Notice how you're breathing now. How does your breath feel? Does it feel smooth? Does your breath feel rough? And now to move a bit deeper, begin to listen to your breath. You can only listen in the present moment. Does the in breath sound the same as the out breath? On your next breath out, once again open your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. Using the bell to move yourself deeper into the silence. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. And notice your experience. If it feels peaceful, focus on the peace. If it feels pleasant, focus on the pleasantness. If it feels silence, focus on the silence. Grounding yourself in your experience. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness to include your whole body once again. Becoming aware of any discomfort in the body itself. Notice that the chair still holds you in place. Sensations where your body makes contact. And then once again, from those sensations, we gently move our focus up, slowly allowing our awareness back into the body. Moving down from our hips towards our thighs. From our thighs, we move down towards our ankles. Notice your feet. And then once again, holding your focus at the soles of your feet. Notice your back is straight and upright. Your shoulders, hands, arms comfortable. Your eyes are closed, your mouth is closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now as the breath moves in, we can sense our body. As the breath moves out, we can sense our body. Breathing in, you feel calm. Breathing out, you feel calm. Once again, breathing in, you sense your body. Breathing out, you sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some slow, deep breaths in. And in your own good time, take your time, gently coming back, opening your eyes when you're ready. Take your time.